Hello my fellow YouTubers, hope you're all having a great day today. Today guys, I'm going to be giving you a review on a short story that many of you know, Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Now, as you all know, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow tells the story of a schoolmaster known as Ichabod Crane, who is poor and living in a small town known as Sleepy Hollow to be their schoolmaster, and he soon finds love interest of Katrina Van Tassel, but also not just like the love inside, but he also has the love for her riches because of how poor he is, and her father's the richest in like the county or the town I should say, as he owns this farm and became rich off of it. But also in the process, Brom Bones, the town like hero and fun guy we should say that people love, he's got competition with him as they both have eyes on Katrina Van Tassel. So it basically becomes a battle of who can get her first right there. And what better way does Brom decide to get back at him than to play some tricks and none other than tell him the story of the Headless Horseman, who was a German Hessian that obviously was killed in the American Revolution after his head was blown off by a cannonball. Okay, yeah, we all know that. And in the story, as you all know, the Headless Horseman, he is a main theme of it. However, he only appears for probably the last 5 pages of the entire story, which is like 20 pages long about. So it's looked at as a ghost story. However, it's not really that much of a ghost story because of how very little the horseman does show up in there, but over time it has become one, and it's more and more labeled as a ghost story, all because the popularity of the Headless Horseman right there. We all know his origins right there, and even the legend of Sleepy Hollow, that town right there, it just sounds, it has like a dark twist to it to where it works perfectly as a ghost town for a story like this right there. After reading this story many times over, I would actually probably say it's one of his best stories that he's ever written. Even though he's got plenty of them out there, I still say that Sleepy Hollow probably stands up amongst all of his others, and probably amongst like a bunch of American literature in general. I mean, we really don't see like in the Masters of Ghosts or any like horror stuff or any type of literature until like, you know, Edgar Allan Poe came around, which he also based a lot of his stuff around the works of Washington Irving, because he follows a lot of the same themes of like questioning stuff in this story. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, there's some questions in there, as one for a fact is when people probably read this story first, it was always labeled that Ichabod Crane, he died. The horseman got him and carried him off. However, upon rereading this several times over, for me, like it was when I reread it in middle school around like 7th or 8th grade, I read it again closely, much closely, to the point that I realized that it never stated that. It just said that he was never heard or seen from again, which is completely different from dying. That just means that dying means he did die and he can't come back. Never heard or seen from again, well, that doesn't mean anything. He could have escaped and gone somewhere else and maybe changed his name. Who knows? There's no proof of it at all to show what happened to him. It just said he was never heard or seen from again. And then the next thing that we know is the horseman right there. I used to think the horseman actually was real. However, once again, upon rereading it, I discovered that doesn't say that either. There is clues in there towards the end that the Horseman actually was not real, and it was just Brom Bones, who was a trained stunt rider who disguised himself as the Horseman after telling Ichabod that crazy story, and used it to scare him away so he could have Katrina Van Tassel all to himself right there, because he saw that Ichabod was getting real close with her, and he knew that, if I don't do something real quick, then he's going to be the one taking her, and he's going to get all the riches, while I'm going to be stuck living this life that I really don't want to live right there. So his way to solve that problem was to make sure Ichabod was out of the picture. Hence why it is strongly suggested and rumored he indeed was the Headless Horseman after all, and the Horseman never existed whatsoever. And so yes, those are pretty much like the main things about this story, and the fact that it was written in a time when short stories were a major part of American literature, because, you know, novels and novellas weren't very big at that time. People didn't want to read through an entire 300-page book. They wanted something that was short and simple for them to get through, that they could read in like an hour or less, pretty much right there. They weren't big on the big works of literature, because remember, newspapers were also big, and they printed a lot of these in newspapers in that time right there. Hence why short stories and even poetry was majorly popular in those times. Another thing about this story is it really helped launch Irving's career even more, because he was like the guy who really set the bar to show everyone that it was possible to make it as a writer and live off of that salary that you could earn from being a writer. Though yes, he was actually already wealthy when he started writing, but still he did show it was possible, as many people did not believe it was possible to write and make a living off of it. He proved that wrong, and we would see many other writers grow and follow that same path. And it was all, this story right here was one of the main influences on him, and probably many other writers altogether, because it's just, to this day, it's like 300 years old, and it's still studied throughout American literature in like all types of schools and textbooks. How can you not read American literature or study it without ever reading this story? It's just that great, and I enjoy it, and it's perfect for people to read in the month of October, because I know a lot of you love your Halloween time of year and decorations and all your stories that go along with it. So yes, if you're feeling it, read this story. It'll help you get more in the mood. And that's all I have to say about this. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate all your support. If you like this video, remember to hit that like button, and also subscribe to this channel. I do post videos every Friday, and I try to post more throughout the week. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. You all stay safe, and remember to have a great day.